Hello, everyone. I know it's a little bit, it's just 7:30 now. And I think I'm going to give people like maybe a couple of seconds to join in because I know I joined in just a couple of seconds early. And we already have some people watching. That's great. Hi, everybody. I hope everybody's having a great Friday. Thank you for watching. Welcome to our special village again. And tonight, I'm so fortunate. I know you guys have heard me talk about Toni so much lately and about equal first aid and airway clearing devices and all of this stuff. But today, we have the opportunity to actually see Toni live.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome to our special village, Toni. We're so happy that you're here with us tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, and I'm just going to give people a second. Grab a sip of water. For my throat. Once it gets started, forget it.
Starts drying.
So let's see. It's 7:31. I think maybe it's a good time to start, right? We told everybody 7:30, so we're good. So I met Toni, and we could talk about more about this later, but I met you, I want to say now it's December, so maybe about 3 months ago. I don't know if it was September, October, something like that.
Yeah.
And just a little, people who are here know my background. I have been in the special education field for as long as I can remember. All my entire career has been in the special education field. I feel like I've been a special educator basically all my life since my brother was born, basically. And we have little hearts from Norma. And I always, I come on this channel and I say, this topic is super important and this is, we should discuss this and we should do this. And of course, when I started talking about airway clearing devices, I said this topic is very important. It's an issue we should be talking about right now. And I started thinking about the term important, and I want to change it, and I want to say this is fundamental. This is a fundamental, and of course we're live. So you hear my phone ring. Just give me a second. And there we go. Sorry about that. This issue is not important. This issue is fundamental. I think if we're going to talk about equal rights, if we're going to talk about equity, it all starts with health, and it starts with life-saving procedures. Something as fundamental as saving someone's life when they're choking is something that we should be discussing now, this minute. And the fact that I met Toni like 3 months ago, and I've been in this field for forever, and she brought this to my attention. I really was not aware of how flawed, I guess I would say flawed, the Heimlich maneuver can be when dealing with someone that's in a wheelchair, because it doesn't really address the situation. And Toni, I just spoke a little bit too much. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself.
No, that's okay.
EFA and and the work that you do, which is so wonderful.
Thank you so much. So Equal First Aid was formed to advocate for people in a wheelchair or anybody with a handicap. As you mentioned, also the choking poster behind me does not include anybody with a handicap or that is in a wheelchair. So we are trying now to raise awareness for the airway clearing device, to bring attention and to hopefully put them in every school, every restaurant, any place that anybody has a disability. And right now I have it with me here, this airway clearing device that we're talking about. It's a non-invasive airway clearing device. It comes with an adult mask and a pediatric mask. You basically just put the mask on, you place it over your nose and your mouth, you push and you pull, and it can dislodge whatever is lodged in your throat. That's when the Heimlich is not able to be administered.
Right. And and you mentioned like, anybody with a disability. And I know when we first met, you met my brother.
Right.
And for people who don't know my brother, he's much larger than me, right? So, or my mom or anyone. I mean, he's just a large person, and he wouldn't really be able to comply with what you need to do
Hmm.
to be able to perform the Heimlich maneuver. And I know that a lot of people in this situation, will feel the same about their um, loved ones with
Sure.
disabilities, right? Like,
Sure.
for
Yeah,
me,
because
it would be impossible to like get around
mhm.
and be able to do the abdominal thrust that's
Right.
needed.
They could be
For
frail.
many,
They could be, yeah, they could be frail. They could not be able to be lifted from the wheelchair and put on the floor. We could not be strong enough to do it.
right? I don't have a statistic. You might. I'm not sure. I read somewhere. I think the maneuver is they say it's about 50% of it effective 50% of the time. We're talking about like a general population. Do you have
Yeah.
that statistic, or am
No,
I right?
I think it's about 50%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I read it somewhere. We're getting a hello from Los Angeles. Hi, and I know it's this topic is probably near and dear to her heart too. Um, so yeah, so when we met, I know, like, for the first thing that I thought about was my brother,
Hmm.
and of course, I have one too.
Hmm.
And people, this is why. And it's funny because I think since we met, I was telling you before, of course, I've always been very aware of choking hazards. I work with young children.
Hmm.
And by the way, we also want to say this is not specifically designed for people who are in a wheelchair. It's not
Right.
specifically designed
It's for
for people
everybody.
with a
Hmm.
disability. This is for everybody.
Hmm.
This is for absolutely everybody.
Right.
Anyone. I heard someone say, even you can even apply it to yourself in an emergency. You
Exactly.
could technically do that.
Yeah.
Um, so this is for everyone. This is about bringing this opportunity, this equal opportunity,
Right.
for a life-saving procedure to like anybody.
Right.
So, but I've been so much more aware of choking.
Yeah. And it's true because I actually will walk
Yeah,
into restaurants and
yeah,
that's the first thing I look for is the choking poster and does it apply to anybody with a handicap or that may be in a wheelchair?
yeah.
Hmm.
It's of course, like I said, I was always aware of it, but now it's at the forefront. I was even, when and when I did my previous video on YouTube, and I talked about Thanksgiving,
Hmm.
because I was thinking about this at the Thanksgiving table. I said, how could this so easily, something that's supposed to be such a joyous event,
Right.
we're coming into the holidays now, right? People get together. What do? We eat,
Hmm.
right? And what
It's very
happens? These
tragic.
things, it
Yeah.
could be, this could happen so easily,
Hmm.
right?
So that's what we're trying to do is raise awareness. Equal First Aid also, we have a website. I would like everybody who's visiting with us now to visit the website, give us your support. There's a change.org. There's a letter of support on there that you can support our cause. And we will try to get this known in every single state. Right now, we've
And the
started up.
website,
Mhm.
is equalfirstaid.com,
Equalfirstaid.com.
right? We're going to, I think I have it, but if I don't,
Hmm.
I will put it down in the comments. And I believe the change .org
Right.
petition, that's a petition, right?
Right.
And that is actually directed, because I know we're going to talk about what's coming up. One of the things that we
Yes.
face, I mean, because I've been working, with Toni to try to raise awareness,
Hmm.
um, through my, small space, my with my community, because as I said, this is something I truly believe in, and I think we should have done this 10 years ago. I don't know,
Yeah.
but okay, so the time is now. We
So
can't wait. We
yes,
can't wait.
the time is
Yeah,
now.
the
That's right.
time is now. We can't
So,
wait.
yeah. And so the change.org is also on the website. And what I've done now up to this day is taken all of the signatures that we have now. It's about 282, 283. I've taken those signatures and all of my letters of support, which are between 60 and 70, and have sent them to legislation in New Jersey to help us support the bill that is currently in New Jersey.
So let's talk about that a little bit, because I know
Yeah,
that's the exciting part. So
that is.
there is the good part and there is the not so good part, which is, like the resistance that we encounter.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about that good part, which is the New Jersey bill that's in the works.
Right.
Um,
So the New Jersey bill, a woman had brought it to the attention of a legislator, and it was sponsored by one of the senators there. Over the past few months, we've been trying to raise awareness, contacting the senators, the assemblymen and women, just to make some noise, basically, and to raise awareness for that bill. We're still doing that. The bill does now have additional sponsors on it, which is great. That's maybe 6 or 7, one for the Assembly bill and one for the Senate bill. But every day we're calling. Like I said, we sent all of the support, anybody support that comes into Equal First Aid, I will send it over to the senators and assemblymen and women. It's the Education Committee now that has the bill. So any day now that bill can be voted on and moved to the next step, next assembly or the next hearing. So it does take a little bit of time, but we have to raise enough awareness to say that we have all the support and to move this bill forward.
right.
Once this bill is passed, every single school in New Jersey will be mandated to have, and to be equipped with this Life Act in the nurse's office and in the cafeteria, readily available.
Right.
So that's what we're trying.
Every single school. And
Mhm.
this, like I said, this is not just about people with disabilities, people in
Right.
wheelchairs, anybody with children, I would think, right, would be interested. Anybody really, but anybody who,
So,
if anybody is watching us in New Jersey, call your legislator, call your assemblyman or woman. Please let them know if this is something that's really that's touching your heart, and you do understand how this life-saving device can save your child's life, because really this is what it boils down to. Oh, Los Angeles in New Jersey, and she just told me I'm in New Jersey.
yay!
Excellent
We need
idea.
all
It's a
support we
device
can
that will
get.
save any person that need to live, which is anybody,
Yes.
because she has an autistic son. I knew that this would be dear to her heart.
So we also have, besides the New Jersey bill, we reached out to every single organization that I can think of. Down syndrome, Easter Seals, Red Cross, multiple sclerosis, SMA, and I have a whole list that goes on. And if there's anybody that's watching and your child is part of an organization and you feel that your child would benefit from this device, I will reach out to that organization and fight for the device to be put there.
Yeah. So Los Angeles have 3 children in school.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, I know you'll be very interested in having this be part of your child's, first aid kit in school, right? It could save your child's life. I mean, we can't even.
So each device for the schools, the device only costs about $69, and it's a one-time purchase for the schools. There is a school kit that the school will look into. One would be in the nurse's office, like I mentioned. One would be in the cafeteria. A teacher may have one, but it's a one-time purchase for the school.
Right.
So it's not like we're looking for anything.
Exactly. I mean, it's not a prohibited price.
Yeah.
It's very accessible.
One time purchase.
Yeah. I would honestly, I have one at home, and I wouldn't feel safe without it.
Exactly.
Since we met, it's this has been so much in the forefront for me that I don't think I will feel safe without it. And I know I have a bunch of New Yorkers watching. Ivana's there, Ileana's there, Norma's there. So yes, I know you are all New Yorkers.
And
We're gonna hit New York next. I mean, we're New York based.
well, we are going
New
to
York,
we
you're
are going to be hitting every state. It just happens now that we're one step closer in New Jersey because somebody did propose a bill there, but we are having bills put in every single state.
Did
So
it take a parent? Was it a parent? This woman that approached the legislator?
so honestly, I don't think she was a parent. It was she just felt very,
Compelled.
she just felt very compelled, and she just really, really believed in that, in this device, and that it should be in the school.
Right.
So she had brought this bill to a legislator, and then they took it from
Right.
there. And Senator Corrado had sponsored the bill, and like I said, little by little, there's
And now
more
more people
sponsors.
signed on, and I believe it's a bipartisan bill.
Yes,
And
now it is. Yes.
how many times do you hear about that? You're hearing it here about this,
Yeah.
which is
Yes. It's great.
truly, this is
So-
truly because people do believe in this, and it affects every single one of us. So
Yeah, it does, and it's so easy to keep. What I'm learning is everybody passes the buck to somebody else.
yes,
And it's, you can send out 300 emails and I hear back from 5. And honestly, I'm being told, wow, that's pretty good.
yeah,
You know?
which is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel your pain because
Mhm.
I've been trying to reach out to people myself,
Right.
people that I know, because obviously it's dear to my heart. It's a population that I grew up with. I mean, this is my entire life.
And you
Obviously, this is not I want this in every single school, don't get me wrong, but this is something that's fundamental if you're in a wheelchair, because there's no other option.
Right.
I think your poster says no option.
Oh, see, yes.
What does it say? I don't know.
Okay.
I don't see the
Yes,
whole
no
screen.
option is not an option.
No option is not an
It's
option.
not an option.
This is why no option is not an option, because there you go.
Trying to get everything in.
Because I was a special education teacher for many, many years. I was a special education administrator for many, many years. I had students in wheelchairs, and I was not aware of this. I mean, how could I not be, right? And so now I feel like, oh no, we need to stop this. This needs to change.
Yeah, and also
But I know, because we've been contacting District 75. Hello. I know that they have had at least one teenager or young woman die that was an autistic young woman in one of their schools, because they could not do this fast enough or efficiently enough.
Mhm.
And this young woman lost her life
Right.
unnecessarily. And I know I've called you frustrated, and I said, I can't believe they're not even answering my emails.
Mhm.
Because to me, this is an emergency situation at this point. Like, this is an emergency.
Mhm.
We need to really move on this. And I can't really understand sometimes. And I'm a psychologist, so I'm always thinking, why not? Why aren't people like? And I think it's because this is something that you could put in the back burner. Like, you think
Right.
it's not going to happen to me, right? Not going to happen to me. And I'm thinking about so many situations. I was telling you, like, if you have an allergy, I mean, of course, you're going to stay away from the food that gives you an allergy or your allergen, right? You're going to stay away from it.
Mhm.
You're not, if you're allergic to nuts, you're not going to get close to nuts. You're not going to get close to peanuts if you're allergic.
Right.
However, what if it does happen? What do you have in your purse? You have an EpiPen, right?
Mhm.
You're prepared, because you know that an emergency can happen. Will it happen? Hopefully not.
Right.
Hopefully you have it there and it expires and you have to go get, this doesn't expire, by
Exactly.
the way, but it expires and you have to go get another one, and you never go through this. But you know what you do? You keep that EpiPen in your purse all the time.
Yeah.
You have it in your house. You have it in a safe spot because you want to get to it, right? If
Yeah.
you happen to know, because what happens with this kind of emergency, you start choking, right? Imagine when you really start choking and you have like a couple minutes.
Right.
Like,
And in schools, one child chokes every 5 days. So we don't.
I read the statistics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we usually don't hear about it when it happens. But even like we said earlier, it's not. Yes, for the handicap. That's why we're here. But also, just recently, there was the Tufts University student that had choked on the hot dog eating contest.
Yes.
She had passed the day later. Had the paramedics maybe carry these on their ambulances and police in their police cars, maybe things could have been
Maybe.
a little different.
Right.
Yeah.
Or if they had been in the school,
In the school.
right?
Yeah.
It would have been a great option.
Mhm. She was
Um,
actually off campus. That's why I believe that maybe if the paramedics would have had it, but the schools, the universities,
or you know what?
had it.
If you have a child that's going to college, what a great gift to give them.
Mhm.
They come in a little bag. Everything is in there. It's super easy to transport,
Yeah.
carry around. I'm sure if it's, see, I have mine at home. I know there's the device for the car.
Right. The travel.
But you
Mhm.
can have it in your purse if you have I have all kinds of things in my purse. My purse
Diaper
is
bags.
large enough that I can carry all kinds of things.
Yeah, there's a lot of also the swallowing disorders, the elderly that are having trouble swallowing their foods. I know
Well,
that a
one
lot of
thing, it is in terms of disability.
Mhm.
Um, the the community disability people with disabilities are the fastest or the largest minority in the world,
Mhm.
right? And it is the one minority group that you are most likely to enter into, right?
Right,
Because all you have to do is either have an accident or live long enough,
right.
right?
Hmm.
You live long enough, you have a good chance of being part of this community,
Right,
right? Um, I obviously I'm an honorary member because of my brother. I consider myself an honorary member.
right.
So I think people with disabilities and their families also uh, I guess pay attention because this is something that you may think you don't need it now. You may feel lucky enough, like, well, it's not for me. It might be for you.
Right.
It might be for you as early as tonight. Something could
Or
happen
somebody that you
tonight.
may know. If you keep it in your car, you can have it in your car.
Oh my goodness! You
Mhm.
remind me of that incident where that in that restaurant.
Oh, right.
It
Mhm.
didn't happen too long ago, actually,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
Maybe 2 3 months ago.
Yes, you're right.
Um, there was this man. I think I'm gonna leave the link here. I think I put it there before because it was just so amazing. I was in such a situation, like
Yeah,
somebody was
the
somebody was
stranger
watching
had
over
it.
the family, and it's just amazing.
Hmm.
And I believe the restaurant ordered some of the life backs, right?
Right.
Because now they're like, we're keeping them here.
Right.
There was this infant that was choking in a restaurant, and this man he said he bought it like 5 years ago,
Right.
had it in his car, saw the situation. Everybody's trying to rescue the kid, trying to do the Heimlich, which is different in a baby.
Right.
The Heimlich is not like a thrust; it's very different in a baby. Anyway, he goes to you see the guy because the restaurant has the camera, so you see the guy run out of the restaurant, come back inside with this device and
Hmm.
just apply it, and the baby start crying, and it
That's
was
perfect.
just a
Yeah.
miracle. It was,
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah,
It's
I mean, you
beautiful.
never know. And
Hmm.
he said the man, and it's funny because it's this large man that you would think, like, and he's so emotional, saying, "Oh my God, I bought this like 5 years ago,"
Right.
and
Ran out to his car. Hmm.
yeah, it was. I mean, I
That's
guess he was put there for a reason. He saved
right. Yeah.
his little
You
baby's
never know. Hmm.
his little baby's life.
Yeah.
So you never know. You can buy this and keep it in your car, and there you have it.
Right.
But for us, there's really no other option. And like I know, Rosanka brought up, her son who has autism. He's on the spectrum,
Mhm.
and I know how difficult it is sometimes with sensory issues to even get around someone. Like you can't even be on the side. Like with sensory issues, it's very difficult. You just like all you have to do is just make sure that you have access to their mouth and nose,
Right.
Just apply the device, and that's
Place,
it.
push and pull.
Close. Push and
Mm-hmm.
pull.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of training too, right? Because I know I was trained for CPR with this. All you have to do is practice. First of all, I know the kid has a practice um, mask, right?
That's
That you
right.
can use.
The home kit, yes, it does. It has the practice
The home
mask.
kit.
Then you can put the mask on, become familiar with the unit, how the unit works, discard that, and then you will be left with a pediatric mask and an adult mask.
Yeah. But basically, I always say the way it works is if you've ever used a plunger in your life,
Exactly.
you probably have.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much it, right?
Yeah.
It's just how
Nice
the
and easy.
plunger operates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I have Maria saying hello, Maria Ortiz. Let me see. Let me just say hi to everybody. We said hi to Norma, Rosangel, Ivana, Maria, everybody who said hi. I know there's more people watching. Um, do you guys have any questions since we have Toni here? Uh, we're not going to let this opportunity go by without asking her questions. So if you guys have any questions, any suggestions, anything that could, why do you think there's so much resistance to talking about this topic? That's something that, it's always in the back of my mind. Why are people so resistant to talking about this? In my opinion, and this is not empirically based. This is just my opinion. I always think that, if you can put it in the back burner, it's a difficult topic to talk
Right.
about. I don't want to talk about this right this minute. I'm
Right.
going to put this in the back burner and I'm going to think about it tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes.
Well,
And
one thing I want to say too is we, as Equal First Aid, will not put it on the back burner. What we will continue to fight, we will do every single state, every single school, every handicap community. But I do need the support of everybody out there. I can't do it. We can't do it alone. The more support I get on that website, I don't care. I don't care if it's 10. I don't care if it's 1,000. I will give that to the senators. I will continue to fight. I will continue to call. But the more people behind us, the better off that we are.
right.
So we just
Right.
can't
And
do it alone.
I got to tell you, when she says she's not going to give up, I completely believe her. If there's someone who is dedicated 100%, that's Toni. So
Thank
I
you.
have to thank you, from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you. And I appreciate the
From
opportunity. And I
everybody,
thank you.
from everybody in this community, who, like me, was not aware of this situation, and you made me aware. And since then, I've been fighting this cause too with you
Mm-hmm.
because I completely and wholeheartedly believe in it. Uh, and like I said before, I always say this is important, that's important. And yes, everything that I talk about in this channel is extremely important, but this is fundamental. This is number one. This is an emergency.
It's the difference between life and death, basically. There's
Correct.
nobody has to die from a choking emergency
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And no option is not an option. And people, and I'm going to keep saying that. I think I'm going to hashtag it. Because I lived through a time many years ago when there was no options for so many things, right? There was no options for education. There was no option for work. You were in a wheelchair, tough. You
Right.
couldn't cross the street. You couldn't cross the street. I think a lot of us now, because we lived through, we thank God for the ADA, the American with Disabilities Act, right?
Right.
And the IDEA, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. We've been, I guess, we've come up in this era where, we're so used to these things being an option, right? And to have the I guess the law backing us up.
Mm-hmm.
It is amazing to me that this is still not an option when it's so fundamental. And I was talking to someone who said, this should be an ADA violation. And
Well, it is. That's why I'm glad that you brought it up,
yes,
because that is part of the problem right now. The schools are not ADA compliant, so they all are in violation of the ADA. So that's when we first started out. That's part of the problem. So we're trying
right,
to make the schools all ADA compliant.
right.
Mhm.
And I have to thank Rosange. She's translating some of the things that we're saying into Spanish in the comments. Thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you.
I actually, Rosange, you made me think about maybe I'll do a little informative video for my Spanish speaking people out there who watch my channel. So because this is important to absolutely everyone, and everybody should be aware. And it doesn't matter. You can call your representative, even if you call them and you speak Spanish. Somebody should get on the phone with you.
Sure.
Does not
And
matter.
remember, to visit the website, give me your
Yep.
support. If you're in New Jersey, that's wonderful. If you're in New York, I will take all the support I could get. Visit the website, sign the letter of support, and I promise you, I will get that to the legislators.
I have a question for you. Do they send the life back to other countries?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
So they have. We could visit lifeact.net, but there is Spain, the UK. Off the top of my head right now, I'm not quite sure, but it's in Canada, Lifeact Canada.
Okay.
But yeah, there's several countries.
And if somebody were to order here, do you know if that's sent? I know you can get it through Amazon.
You can visit lifeact.net and
Okay.
directly from the website, or you can call their customer service and
Right.
and order it over the phone. Lifeact.net.
I'm thinking you can always, if it's for a loved one, if it's not sent, which I'm sure if you call them, they will send. But if it's not, you can always order yourself and then send it to the person.
Right.
That's what I would do.
You can do that. You can ship it to someplace else too.
Right. You can ship it yourself.
They can ship
Yes,
it to you.
I will be making that video.
Yeah.
She said it will be a great idea.
Yeah.
She actually, she started translating, and I'm like, immediately. Los Angeles, Dominican Republic. Do you know if they send it to DR? Probably by calling, right?
Yeah, probably by calling. I'm not sure offhand about the Dominican Republic, but there will be a way to help her out. They'll get it to her.
Yeah, somebody's else saying yes, do it in Spanish as well. I'm going to also leave. I don't know if I did in the description of the video, but for sure I will put a link to your website, of course.
Thank you.
And that's extremely important. Of course, it's important to visit LifeAct, get your device, but it's also like what we're talking about here, which is to make sure that it's available for people who need it, kids who need it. Are obviously our focus,
right?
People with disabilities, especially people in wheelchairs, because number one casualties, right, of the fact that the Heimlich maneuver cannot be properly applied. But I think, very, very important to visit your website and to give your support, because think about it this way. Yes, you could by all means, have it at home. I'll be the first one to tell you, have it at home, have it in your car, have it in your purse. But how important it would be to have it in your child's school, right? Because your child spends a great deal of time in school. Your child eats in school, right? So a lot of accidents, as you said, one child every 5 days. That's crazy to me. And I don't know. I'm willing to say that people with disabilities, kids with disabilities, are probably overrepresented in that. I don't have a statistic, but I would be willing to bet it that they're probably overrepresented in that number. So
I know that there. I think the number now of saves is about. It's not quite 220 yet. I think it's about 218, like that, and
children, right?
Of saves altogether.
Okay.
but I believe there's about 70 to 80 disability. Anybody with a
Oh,
disability
okay. And
of that
that's a
number.
see,
Yeah.
that's an
Oh,
incredible number, because if you
oh,
think about percentage wise, that's an incredible number.
yeah.
And I have to say, when Tony talks about the saves, if you go to life, I believe it's in the website if I'm not mistaken, but it's definitely in the Facebook page for Lifeback. The Lifeback CEO is very proud of this. He's the creator of this particular device that you see here. He has his wall of saves. He wants to know of everybody, because it's a really great story about how he wanted to save his daughter, and then he ended up producing this for everybody, and it just grew and grew.
Mm-hmm.
But he has this he wants to keep track of the people he helped save with the device that he created, right?
Yes.
And yeah, I know he has a special place in his heart for people with disabilities too. I know it's close to his heart as well. But so when Tony says 220 is it comes from that wall of saves.
Yeah.
It's great sometimes to put a face
And every
to
day, it
a
seems like every
number.
day the number updates on their
Oh
website too.
yeah, I can
Mhm.
guarantee you that 220 is an extremely conservative number.
Right.
I
For
know that
yeah,
because that it's only the people that you hear about, but
exactly. Or that fill it out. Yeah, that fill out the report.
right.
Hmm.
But how many people? I'm sure at least double. I'm sure.
Yeah. But now it's coming in. If they go onto the website and they visit it every day, it's just more and more people that have been saved.
Yeah, yeah. I do see it, and that's great. Anyone else? Any comments? Or I know I will be doing this video in Spanish. I got that loud and clear. Everybody's saying do it in Spanish. I will do it. Um, and we had the question about shipping it to other countries.
Mhm.
I will leave the link for both for Tony's organization and for Lifeback for whoever wants to look into purchasing one or wants to learn more about the device.
They
Is
can
there
always send
anything
me
else?
any questions. I'm sorry, any questions too. They can. My email is on the website. They
Right.
can call me. They can email me. And again, if they have a child that is in a special program or in a school with a disability, and they'd like me to reach out to that school, I'm happy to do that also.
And she will. I guarantee you.
You know me.
Yes.
We've only just begun,
Oh,
so we need all the support we can get.
that's what she tells me. Yeah, but she's working 24/7 on this. Extremely dedicated. You have an ally here. I this is for real. You definitely have an ally. We have an ally. Anybody else? Tony, anything else that you would want to maybe like leave people with a
Um,
message? I think you just said it really.
yeah, I mean the only thing I know, what we spoke earlier about how people can put it on the back burner. It's so easy to just shut off our computers. Just yeah, I'll get to it tomorrow. But we need the support. We
Yes.
need like I said, we're going to have a bill that's going to be proposed in New York. We're going to need to fight it, to make noise, raise awareness for this device to be in every school, but also for anybody in a wheelchair or a disability in a choking emergency. Because as you can see, again, my poster, the posters
Yes.
in all the restaurants, the
We
posters
know that poster, the one that's everywhere.
there he goes. Yeah. So that poster does not apply for anybody with a handicap. So we need to change that.
Yeah.
We need to make all our schools ADA compliant, and we need to protect everyone.
And I think I have to second that. That poster is not, and what I would say to everybody who's watching this video or who will watch it later,
Mhm.
I I ask you to go every time when you go out next time, tonight, tomorrow night, when you go out with your family, take a look at the poster. You will see that it does not address um, a big chunk of our population. and it does not address the largest minority in the world, and we do need to change that. And I do second what Toni just said. It boggles my mind sometimes that people don't return my messages and don't seem to put this in the back burner, or seem to like forget about this and just leave it for tomorrow. The time is right now. It's this minute. If you guys jump off um, this video and just go to equalfirstaidaltogether.com, check it out. Please read, sign that change.org form. Make sure that your representatives know that you're interested in having this life-saving device in your child's school. In particular, if you are in a wheelchair, your child is in a wheelchair, any of your loved ones are, or your loved one has a disability, because this is so much more extremely urgent, if that's the case. And I have a question for you, Toni. Is the life bag being used in any New Jersey or New York schools now? And if so, which ones? I know some schools,
So
135 schools in the country, right?
Some schools have them. I believe there might be a couple hundred schools that have them. The actual names of the school I don't have, but if they
Right.
call LifeAct themselves,
Right.
call the administrator of LifeAct, she will definitely be able to
Okay.
supply that information. But there are a few hundred schools. There are a few fire departments that have it, not many.
Yeah. But this is because they themselves, right, reached
Right.
out to LifeBack and said we want
Yeah.
one of your devices. It
Right.
wasn't because they were mandated or
No.
because they're
Right.
So that's the key difference.
Yeah.
So you as a parent can make a difference too if you reach out to your school administrator.
And like you mentioned earlier, the EpiPen, for example, a few years ago, it wasn't in the schools. Now it's
Right.
part of the school.
Right.
The defibrillator and everything.
Exactly.
Right. So if we, again, it's $69 one-time purchase for the school.
And it costs so much more. Like a defibrillator, when I was an administrator at this department in the Department of Education, I made sure that we had it. We had it in a particular location where everybody was able to reach it.
Right.
I had all of my staff trained in how to use it. So
And
it was very costly.
And the best part about this is if it's in the cafeteria, anybody can use it.
Anybody, yeah. As we said before, anybody that operated a plunger in their lives, even if you never did, if you watch someone do it,
anybody could administer it.
Can do it. Yeah.
So we have to get them in. And again, I do thank all your viewers. Please visit my website, send me an email, keep in contact with me. I know we said we had a lot of people from New York, but very, very soon I'm going to need the support of the New Yorkers so that I can fight for these bills and have all the support behind me.
And I want to join you in thanking everybody for joining our conversation today. This was a very, as you know, extremely important, fundamental, urgent conversation that we needed to have. And again, I want to thank you, Toni, for being part of it.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, everybody, for being here for us.
And for advocating for our community. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, too.
And everybody, have a wonderful Friday night and a wonderful weekend. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.